It's going to reach probably over the head. Behind us, that's the first bit of the neck done. We're going to keep the hands behind. We're just going to reach behind us, going to pin the shoulder blades back. We're going to lift the chest. And we're just going to try and reach our hands towards the floor. So the main thing here is lifting the chest up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Staying nice and proud. Should feel a stretch probably over the shoulders, over the chest, into the biceps. I'm just going to hold this for 30 seconds. You can try to tuck the chin. You also feel a little bit of a stretch in the neck as well. I come back to the middle. Right, I'm just going to come onto my toes here, need a little bit better position. Here we're going to do some breath extensions. I don't know why I said it that way. We're going to start hands on the head. We're going to exhale, come all the way down into as flex as you can. And inhale, and then try to really open the chest. Breathe out. Come back into the tight ball. Inhale. There's going to be 3 of these. So that's kind of the upper body and the neck warmed up. We're just going to come to the side now, come forward. I'm going to go into an upward dog position. So again, get a bit into extension. You can walk back from the floor. You can do a little bit of twisting, kind of loosen things up a little bit. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to lift onto our toes. We're going to push back up into what would be the downward dog position. And then what we can do from here is we're going to do some walks. So we're going to try and lift up one heel, press the heel down, lift up the other. This is a bit tight for you. Just come out a bit slightly in terms of where the shoulders are. Lift the shoulders up a bit and focus on really trying to arch the lower back. This will we're going to do 10 steps on each side. Going to count down. Focus a little bit on the hands. We're going to focus again on the shoulders. We're going to come into a cat stretch. So you can lift the legs high. Try to press the shoulders down to the ground. We're going to arch the back. Again, just breathe. Try to feel like you're really trying to push those shoulders down to the ground by squeezing the shoulder blades back. Trying to arch that out. Should feel a good stretch on the lats, especially going into the shoulders. And we're just going to move the legs out a little bit, sink the hips back into a child's pose. Now we're going to relax here for a second. Try to get your belly button nice and deep to the ground. So from here, we're going to come forward and just going to sit down. We're going to place our right leg in front of us, and we're going to open that front knee to 90 degrees. So we're in a 90-90 position. From here, we're just going to twist over, and we're going to try and move this left leg back as far as we can, ideally getting into kind of a pigeon-like position, but again, making sure we keep this front leg at 90 degrees. We're going to try and bring our chest directly over that front leg, that front knee, and we're just going to ease on into it. So from here, we can do a little bit of PNF. What we're going to try and do when we're in a little bit of a stretch position, we're going to try and lift the knee up towards our chest as hard as you can. So I'm going to try and lift this upwards. Going to hold it for 5. Keep lifting, keep holding. And then we're going to try and push this knee down into the ground for 5. And then we're going to alternate between those two. So we're going to lift. I'm going to press into the ground. Lift. And then we're going to press. Last one. So So after this last press, we're just going to try and twist on around a little bit more, lean as far forward as you can, and then we're just going to hold this stretch for about 20 seconds. During this time, we'll have a nice stretch on that glute of this front leg. All right, let's finish up a little bit longer. We're going to come up out of that 90-90. We're going to keep that front leg forward. We're going to come into a lunge position. So with the lunge position, we're going to stay up nice. So we're going to rest on that front leg, deepest lunge that we can. We're going to keep the back foot on the toes, and all we're going to try and do is we're going to try and lift the leg and try and straighten it, and then come back down. We're going to do 5 of these. We're going to try and lift, straighten that leg, and come back down. What we're going to try and think about doing is actually trying to push that heel back behind us, but keep the hips sunk down. We're not going to come all the way up. We're going to try and stay as low as possible. So this is the 4th one. And the 5th one, we're just going to hold for 10 seconds. Up. That's it. A few more. 2, 1. Come down, relax. Lovely. You're going to keep the left arm on the ground. Reach behind, grab the foot with the right arm. If this is too intense for you, then that's fine. We can just hold the lunge stretch a little bit longer. We're going to hold this position, lean on forward. We're going to try and pull that back leg in. The closer you can get it to your bum, the more intense this stretch is going to do. I'm just going to hold this one for about 20 seconds. You can perform a little bit of pianettis. So what we can do is we can try and kick into the hand slightly. We're going to try and kick into the hand and then relax. Kick for 5 seconds. Keep kicking and relax. Kick again. And relax. Perfect. So now we're in this position. We're going to stay here. Try to keep the hands on the ground if you need to. And then all we're going to do is going to try and push the hips back and straighten the leg. Now what we need to do is stay as much over this leg as we can. If this is too intense for you, then you can come out of it a bit. You can get some support, something where you can hold yourself a little bit higher, but just adjust as is needed for you. So we're going to come forward with this lunge, push the hips back, pull the hip back, straighten the leg. You can as well, extra bonus point, pull the foot back towards you, hold for a few seconds, and then come back. Only 5 of these. Two. Should feel a nice stretch on that hamstring of that front leg. So the last one here is going to hold for 10 seconds. So you're trying to keep this contact here between the thigh and the stomach as you push the hips back. Try to maintain that contact. Go as deep as you can. So hold this last position for about 20 seconds. Again, if this one isn't particularly comfortable, what you can do is you can grab an object and you can simply sit back on that object. It's kind of the same stretch, but it's just a little bit more of a relaxed position. And again, if you're up here, that's fine. If you're further down, also fantastic. Keep holding. And then you can come back. And then we're just going to simply repeat again. We're going to go to the opposite side. So I'm going to turn this way, so I can show you. So we're going to come back into that 90-90 position. That left leg now is out in front, the right leg's back. We're going to wiggle that right leg back and we're going to twist that hip as far as we can or as far as we feel comfortable into the front leg. And from here again, we can do another set of that pianette. So we're going to try and lift that knee up. Keep lifting, lift up, and press into the ground. And alternate back and forth, so you're going to lift. And we're going to press into the ground. lift. Just going to try and pull your stomach deeper and press that knee into the ground. That's it. Just come out of it. Oh. Perfect. So now we're just going to try and hold this last position. It's that little bit longer. Again, making sure that knee is roughly at 90 degrees. Try not to let it come in too much. That will make the stretch a little bit less. I'm going to keep holding this position. And we're going to come on out this one. We get that further. We're going to stay in that lunge position as we did beforehand. On the toes of the back leg. Use support if you need to. Keep those hips low. Push the leg out behind you. That's 2. Again, we're going to do 5 of these. Hold the last one for 10 seconds. 2 more. So lift, really try to squeeze the glute on this back leg, trying to push that leg behind you. Last one, we're just going to hold for 10. Come back down, same thing again. Place that right hand forward, lean behind you, lift the leg, grab it with the left hand, and we're just going to pull in again to that nice, more intense stretch over the hip flexor and the quad. And then from here, we're going to try and kick into the hand very, very slightly. So we're going to try and push the foot away. Kick for 5 seconds. And we're going to relax. Kick for 5 seconds. I'm going to do one last one and then just hold it for a little bit longer. So kick. Right, so just going to hold this one for about 10 seconds again. Try and pull that foot towards your bum. Perfect. Same thing here again. You're going to try and go forward into the lunge. Keep that contact between the thigh and your stomach. You're going to push the hips back, straighten the leg, pull the toes towards us. Staying as close as we can to that leg. Forward. Do 5 of these. Pull the hip back. Really make sure that leg's straight. Don't let it bend. If it's bent, straighten it and just come a little bit more out of the stretch. Push the hip back, pull the foot back. 2 more here. Last one, we're just going to hold for 10 seconds. Again, if you want to, you can grab the object and then you can sit back now, sitting back onto that leg. Otherwise, try to hold in this kneeling position. And just try to relax into it. I notice this leg is shaking a bit for me. So I'm kind of probably pushing it a little bit too much. That's fine. Right, come back to the center. And we're going to come into a tailor pose position. So this is more butterfly, whichever you want to call it. I'm going to grab the feet and pull them in nice and close. The closer it is, the harder it's going to be. So if it's not really comfortable right in, then just let the legs come out of it. There's no bad in that. So we're going to come down, hold on to the feet, press the elbows into the legs. So we can press the legs down. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to try and lift the legs up into our elbows. So I'm going to try and do this. I'm doing it into my elbows. So lift up, and hold 5. And then from here, we're going to try and squeeze the glutes, pull the knees down 5. And lift up for 5. Then we're going to push down 5. Really try to squeeze those glutes, pull the knees towards the floor. One last one, we're going to lift up. 5. And we're going to push down, really try to pull with those glutes, pull those knees towards the floor. I'm just going to hold this one. Now, a little bit more relaxed position. We can then work on just sitting in the stretch. Again, I'm actively trying to pull my knees down towards the ground, but only about 50% effort. What you can do now, it's going to lift the hips slightly, move the hips as close as you can to the feet. I'm going to slide away. I'm going to do 5 of these. During this, you're going to always try to pull the knees down towards the ground. So 2 more. Perfect. Hips should start feeling like they're getting a little bit looser. I'm just going to sort of take that to the next level a little bit and use it again. So we're going to come into a squat position. So as deep as you can, your resting squat. From here, what we're going to try and do, place your hands on the ground. We'll try and lift the hips. Same thing again. Try to maintain this contact between the chest and the thighs and extend the legs down into tight position. Hold for like 3 or 4 seconds. We're going to try and push and reach as close as you can to the ground. Then we're going to come back down into our squat. We don't have to come all the way down to the bottom, just as deep as you can whilst maintaining your squat. Press back up. Really try to pull yourself deeper. Try to keep that connection here between the thigh and the stomach. Maybe 5 of these. Press up. Make sure those legs are straight. If you have to come out a bit to straighten them, that is fine. Come down. I'm going to do 2 more. And the last one. Just going to hold this position. Try to actually give yourself a little bit of force this time. Try and pull with the ankles. Hold this for another 5 seconds or so. And then all we're going to do, whilst in this position, we're just going to let the feet wiggle them out a little bit, kind of to a comfortable distance, and what would be a almost pancake position. And then we're just going to hold this one as well. I'm going to hold on to my feet because otherwise they go sliding out far too far. But you can just kind of relax, press your elbows on the ground, kind of get wherever comfortable position. Should feel for this one, nice stretch in the medial hamstrings, so the pike and the pancake. So pike should have been a little bit more central. This is going to be more of the inside. Again, try to pull yourself down towards the ground. I'm just going to hold this for another 10 seconds. And if we can do now, we're going to walk and drop ourselves into straddle. If you can't do that, come out of it and then start by sitting on the ground. Now, when we're sitting on the ground, we want to make sure we can sit up with a nice tall posture. We don't want to get rounded. If we are rounded, and again, grab yourself a few cushions, stick them under your hips so you can sit relatively comfortably. It shouldn't be too much of a stretch at this point. So here, all we're going to do, we're going to start on the left-hand side. We're going to look at a side bend, so we're going to get more of a stretch on our QL and our lower back and obliques. So what we're going to try and do is we're just going to try and get our left shoulder down towards our left leg. We can do this a little bit as well by using the right arm to push off the right leg, push us deeper into that stretch. If this is enough of a stretch for you up here, also the hamstring or the front leg, fantastic. If it's not, you can lift the arm over, you can grab, and you can pull yourself a little bit deeper into it. When we're in this position, we kind of don't want to be max effort stretch. We'll be a somewhat comfortable stretch. We're just going to take 3 deep breaths. And each out breath, and feel like you can sink a little bit deeper. Now we're going to come to the other side, so come to the middle, shake it off. We're going to drop that right shoulder down towards that right leg as well. We're going to push away with that left arm, and then again, we can take those 3 deep breaths. You want to take this up a notch, you can lean over. I'm just going to hold it here. So trying to lean on, feel that stretch in the hamstring, feel the stretch in the lower back as well. Each time you breathe out, try to sink a little deeper. That is that for this one. And then all we're going to do is we're going to finish a nice wide child's pose. So we're going to push those knees out, we're going to feet in, just going to come down, and we're just going to relax. This one isn't necessarily about the stretch, just finding kind of a comfortable position, just to die and relax it. I'm going to hold this for 3 breaths, and so you can continue to hold this as long as you want at the end.
De qual? Gel 5.
So that is basically the routine. Some slight iterations from the original routines, but all 3 or all 2 of the others will be linked in the description down below if you want to use those or you want to use this one. This is a good, just kind of general full body flexibility routine, especially looking to open up hip flexors and hamstrings. So I imagine it'll probably be good for a wide range of people, and hopefully is pretty adaptable to anyone if you have a couple of cushions.